My teacher laughed at me because I was being told off by another teacher. And it wasn't like a misunderstanding. She actually laughed at me. She was like, she was snickering. She thinks she's funny. Okay, so what happened was we were learning about like water safety and stuff in, I think it was fourth lesson on one Monday. I don't know which Monday, but it was a Monday. We were doing well-being, and we always learn about random things. And we were learning about water safety, and we were doing we were learning about all these different safety flags to show whether or not you can go in the water or not. And we were doing posters on these flags. And I was talking a little bit, and I did my work, and I showed it to the teacher. She told me that it wasn't good, and that I had to do it again. And then I asked my friend, what do you mean? Like, this is so good. Insert teacher's name said that this was not good enough. And then she got upset with me and sent me out the classroom. And I had to do the work by myself in another room. And don't get me wrong, I was talking earlier as well. But when I left the classroom, I heard everybody screaming and shouting and talking really loud. And she might have left the classroom for all I know. But to what I heard, it just sounded like everyone was like, being loud, and the teacher was allowing it or whatever. And then basically what happened was the teacher came to me at the end and told me that I had to see I'm going to say I'm just going to say Miss Green, okay? Green is now my new word for all these videos. So my teacher told me that I had to see Miss Green. And Miss Green's like a really high, important teacher thingy. Or at least she is in my year group. And if you've seen my community posts, I'm starting to really love my form and I love school. And it's mostly because of my class. I went to see Miss Green and I sat down in a chair, and then I found my teacher there, and she smiled at me and said, hello, insert name. But it wasn't like, oh, hello, insert name. It wasn't like that. It was like, hello, insert name. She was so acting like a villain, and I didn't reply. I just looked at her. And then she said it again, so I just smiled at her and said hi. Because I'm not rude, but I'm a bit annoyed at her for going out of her way to do all this. Just because she doesn't like me. Well, what happened was, eventually I went to go see it in the room to see Miss Green. And Miss Green was talking about, you're not usually like this, what's going on? My teacher legitimately said, I'm not like this on all days. I'm not usually like this. And then a few seconds later, she said, oh yeah, this is the insert name that I always have. She obviously can't pick a side. She's literally so immature, it's sad. Especially how she laughed at me. I'll explain that in a minute. So basically what happened was my teacher was saying I hadn't listened the whole lesson. Or I hadn't done any work the whole lesson. I said, I listened the whole time. I can tell you everything that we learnt right now if you'd like. And then I realised I sounded a bit rude. I said, I'm not trying to sound rude though. And then Miss Green started getting annoyed at me and everything. And then she laughed. She was my teacher laughed. She was snickering because I said not trying to be rude. And then also, apparently, according to my teacher, that I bursted through the door with my earbuds. I have my earbuds in, yeah. And then she asked why I was late, which I didn't know I was late. And I said, toilet, apparently. No, I swear that I was using the toilet. And remember from my other video, you can't just give me a detention for being late. You have to be late 4 times in a week to get detention. Oh yeah, and the most annoying part is, Miss Green legitimately told my teacher, I'm so sorry for wasting your time, like my teacher hadn't requested to see her and me to be there. So annoying.